Nexa, read all about it. Coming in scalding hot over a win over Liquid today to close out the day here at the Blast Spring Groups. Congratulations on that win. Went all the way to third map. Did you know it was going to happen again?
It's always tough to play against the same opponent, especially if you beat him the first time, because they'll be extra ready for you. I think the maps were a bit different, and that's what kind of went into our favor at the end. I think they didn't really expect that we were that good on overpass as we were, So, yeah, I mean, we obviously expect to win every game that we come to play, even though a lot of people don't expect it to us, but I feel like we are a really good upset team, and we can go toe-to-toe with anyone.
Did you see the split maps coming in, like in the first two? I thought this is a series, we've seen lots of series where you could maybe predict the upset or flip. But was this one where you expected to lose Ancient to win Mirage?
I think we put a lot of effort in our Mirage after we got smashed by FaZe. We kind of figured out a different play style to play on CT, and I think we always had a decent T-side Mirage. We could always pull out rounds, and it was always the CT side that we were kind of fumbling the ball every time. So I think it comes, once in a while, a game where you have all the spawns, where everything goes your way, where your individuals are on point, and I think today was one of those days. It's not really that we did anything tactically superior. I think we just hit more shots than them on Mirage.
Yeah, I noticed you guys are doing, it's your style, a lot of contact explodes. Is there something in particular on this map where you, with the frequency that it came out, both on Ancient and on Mirage, that you're doing it because it was Liquid, because it was the rematch to try to keep it fresh, or just because this is where your team is the most comfortable?
I think we're most comfortable just going out and having duels, not a lot of thinking, but a lot of shooting. So that's us basically.
Is that something you guys think about more on your CT side, like kind of coordinating some of these same type of pushes that you guys do on the T side? Do you think that might be something that you're lacking?
Yeah, I mean, we are not, I think the communication is one of the issues for us, seeing as it's a first-time international team for 3 of the players that are currently here, and even though they spent a few months here, it's still not that easy, the transition in general, and we're still lacking kind of some fundamental things, when we communicate, and that's why a lot of times we lose the advantage situations, the 4v2s, 4v3s, whatever, you see a lot of them from our side, and it basically happens because we're just not used to, some guys are not used to speaking English, and saying watch out behind, or there's a gap here now, or whatever they were saying prior in their own language, so once we get that fixed, it'll I think our C side will look better.
Yeah, could you expound on that? Because it was something you said with James in the interview, where you said there's not a lot of confidence in the team, sometimes in a 4v5, or if you're dead, to organize, something interesting to win rounds in those situations, and because of the communication. So you're saying not just simple comms, sometimes it's just even bringing ideas together when you're not talking.
Yeah, pretty much right now we don't have a secondary caller, so it's mostly on me, and then if someone has a really good game, they feel the game, they would step up and speak and help out, but in general, it's mainly controlled by me, and I think Raga, our coach, is doing a really good job with the timeouts, taking them at the right time and always being prepared with some set calls and strategies that can always help us, get over the line if we need it. But yeah, I think we're trying to kind of mold flameZ into being this secondary caller and really help me out, because he plays a lot of impactful positions where he gets really good information that can change the course of the round.
That's a good point that you put out. I think we actually have a TeamSpeak clip that kind of illustrates this idea that you guys are actually trying to mold flameZ here. So we'll just let this clip play out, and then you can comment on it afterwards.
Edward one.
Yes.
Kitchen open. One default.
I'm picking kitchen.
Yeah.
I have
He's
gun.
10 HP in kitchen.
Short one.
Okay.
Short. I'm smoking exit.
Exit is smoked.
Both kitchen. One is 10
default.
HP, OC 10 HP. 10 HP!
Nice!
Maciek!
Lol, man.
Okay, so that was obviously the wrong clip. That's not the right one.
But still talk about it.
Yeah, but talk about this clutch also. What?
Yeah, it's one of those rounds. I think we have them. I had a lot of them also in G2 as well. It's basically the 1Ds, and I think we're really dangerous team on this type of rounds. I think we won a lot of these rounds throughout the last year, and yeah, I mean, we have just one insane 1D.
You know what's
All of us,
interesting
you know.
about your comms comment is that you say you don't have a second caller and you're working on that, but you have a very chatty team. I mean, these guys in and out of the server. I mean, you've got a team that just like everybody loves to talk about stuff. So, but is it about getting used to them talking in a more serious capacity? Is that
Yeah,
just how
yeah. I think everyone likes to have fun and joke around, and then we like troll with each other all the time. But I think it's more about when there's some pressure and it's like tense situations or a close game, and then I think that they're still inexperienced, and I think they find it hard to speak out just because of if they're wrong, they couldn't really bear the responsibility of being wrong, so they would rather not say anything than say something that could be potentially wrong, But once we get over that like barrier that help is always welcome, no matter where it comes from, then we will be able to be better.
Okay, I think finally we have this clip now, so let's get to it.
Smoking B.
Picking con.
One is
Close
close
ramp.
ramp. Yeah, I was
Okay.
it was ramp. They wanted to go A.
I'm picking short.
Nexa, you're molly
I'm
underground.
I block
Okay.
ramp.
And we need a flash from. Okay, we need a flash from you next as well.
I'm gonna join
Okay,
you
I
guys.
can molly
flash
under
and
and
you both
flash.
swing.
Tell me when. Tell me when.
Right now.
Yeah, you can
Boosting
go.
window
You can
also.
go now,
I'm molly.
guys.
Up on side.
Ninja up.
I hold
Yeah,
him.
relax now. Behind. Be ready if I die. You push out together.
Let ninja up.
I'm picking.
Nice.
Tetris. That.
Nice.
Nice patience.
Nice
bro.
flash.
He was in control.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I expect of him, and that's kind of why he plays the roles and the positions that he plays on all our city sides, because he is kind of the main engine on our city side, like the star player, if you want to call it how I envision him, and he has a lot of responsibility on his shoulder, and I think on city side he's doing it really well because he is used to doing it. Like he plays a lot of FPL, he's always like coordinating and speaking a lot. Whereas on the T side, I think it's still new from him because we had like some role swaps, like some changes. He's been playing like entry a bit and then like lurking, all around. So we're just trying to get settled right now into everyone playing one role. We're not gonna change. We're gonna push this to the maximum till the end, and then hopefully it goes well.
We have a saying that goes in NA that some people can't sing and dance, and I think that there are players that can shoot and then talk, but some can't do it at the same time, and it's a hard skill to teach. So it's a really valuable asset to have somebody like that, and it's good that you're leaning into it. But you've also got someone else who's named Degster, who he clearly is vocal sometimes, and we've got a clip from him to display some of his communication as well.
You want me to do 2 flashes middle up there?
Yes, I want 2 flashes on mid.
Yeah, flash now.
Flashing as well.
I'm not
No,
mollying
no,
behind
mid.
box.
Maybe they
I have
boost
mid.
it. Yeah, I smoke palace.
To B. Watch out.
Guys,
I'm
we
doing
already
hitters
spent
on
10
B.
seconds. Come back mid now.
I have full B house. I'm inside it.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
coming
nothing.
back window.
They smoke.
They flash.
Out mid.
Dead.
Dead deagle. I leave.
Yeah, you can leave.
I smoke A palace.
You have
I'm
VAPs.
in the window.
Yeah. I'm
Can you
inside.
smoke one Nexa or no?
Are you
I can
good?
try. Yeah, I'll
missed
try.
I don't know.
Guys, I'm not
Wait,
ready.
wait, close mid, close mid.
So I actually want to ask here with this. I noticed that when Degster first joined your team, he brought like a handful of picks that he used to do in Spirit. So how's like working with that right now? Like, is that a good thing for your team? Is able to bring like those kind of picks?
Yeah, like at the very beginning, the first blast we played, it was good because it was unpredictable in a way, and it was very, like offhand, and we could just go with it because it always works for a game or two. And then when we started to put in a bit more structure, or more like when teams started to notice what we were doing and finding the gaps, because we went from pretty much playing with a control opper, and having him be like a turret to this like flashy superstar type of guy that's like going for all the things, and then it kind of like messed with our initial system a little bit, and then the adjustment. It took some time to adjust. Like he tried to adjust to like the style we played before. We tried to meet somewhere in the middle, but it was very difficult. So that's why, for example, you see that I'm playing some positions that that are not really anchor positions, but I play more control so that like Abdul and flameZ have way more space. Like the example is on Mirage, I'm playing short Mirage, but I'm not really like the jump short, jump underground, whatever type of guy. I'm basically playing control to give them all the step one or like all the early moves that they want to do, and I just make sure that I fill all the gaps that are left.
You're basically just covering their
Yeah,
bases and
exactly.
letting them be the ones that like actually initiate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting definition of that. And Degster is a guy who's just no shortage of highlights, as you pointed out. The World Final was one where he had an amazing, was it 1v4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A shot. Well, here in Mirage, it felt like he was mirroring himself and seeing if he could outdo himself. It was the hold on the B site with this op, and he did have to reload, unfortunately.
Degster blinded. Nice. Follow through flashbangs. Excellent tracking. Even better no scopes and the shots that follow. Degster, an animal. Degster, the destroyer.
Sick, what can I
Yeah,
say? Pretty insane.
that was your first time seeing it, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Was it better than you thought when you were looking at the kill feed?
Yeah, it was better than I thought.
You can't tell sometimes because you guys are, there's so much jubilation no matter what. If you win a round and it's good, your team all helps out. It's like the same slap Richter scale. You know what I mean? No matter
Yeah.
what, it's always super loud.
Yeah.
You noticed it. Listen.
Yeah, I can hear it all the time. Like where I am, like whenever you guys are set up, I think right here, one of the two, I can hear the slaps like each time. So it's a pretty powerful one.
Yeah, when we rewatch the games, basically sometimes you just see flameZ put out his hand and then like go all the way down, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to ask as well, since, you know, for you as an IGL, it almost seems like this wasn't exactly your calling. This was more something that it's kind of like you were kind of forced into it. You're kind of reluctant. So I want to kind of ask about your path. Like how did you kind of embrace being the IGL now that you're on OG and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I played in Imperial, right before I joined the Valiant / Crazy team, you know, we were playing with Crystal, and he was the IGL, and basically I was always the secondary caller, and then at that point, like Esperanto, who I played with, was just like, kick this guy or I'm leaving, you know. Like,
yeah.
toxic,
Legendary
you know? Yeah,
Esperanto.
yeah, right. And then at that point we were like, okay, so do we want to get another in-game leader or do I try to do this again, you know? And everyone was thinking that just because I went to Renegades a few years prior and I tried to
You made your brand.
be a leader, they were like, yeah, but you were doing it before, you know, and like it always somehow kept like coming back at me, you know, because like they thought I did good in Renegades. I don't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't think so. But it always somehow kept falling in my lap, and everyone around me just kept saying like, you know, yeah, you should do it. You have like the game knowledge, you know, you have the ability to do it, and there's not a lot of in-game leaders. It's like it was probably like that also played a factor that, you know, there is no shortage of upcoming star players, riflers, lurkers, everything, you know, but there is a shortage of in-game leaders, you know, and I think that also played a factor in me kind of pursuing this this role as well. So yeah, and then in Crazy, when we made it to the major, I kind of like, you know, have had the confidence that, you know, I can actually do this, you know, because prior to that it was just like tier 2 games and you know, one like DreamHack or whatnot, you know. But after that, you know, when G2 offered me to join them, I also had offers to just be a rifler in for example, I could have joined OG back then with Alexi, or I was in talks with me and Hunter,
right,
you know,
yeah.
like with me and Hunter joining as just like normal players under Alexi, you know. But yeah, you know, what could have been, I decided that I want to pursue like or continue my career as an in-game leader, you know, and I don't regret it.
Wow.
That's
okay.
great, yeah. Short supply and a valuable role. And it's true to this day, you know, like good callers, so hard to find. And it's good that, so it sounds like you enjoy it then. It's not just that you were thrown into it at first and you didn't even think you were that good at first, but now you've embraced it, you're actually seeing success and you enjoy it?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it now. There were definitely periods where I didn't enjoy it. I think it was especially difficult during the online era, just because of like oversaturation of the games in general, and it was really hard to keep your mind focused and constantly just play through, or like I cannot, like this like whole like year there is full hazy for me because it just kept like, you know, playing every second day another best of 3 or like 2 best of 3s in the same day, you know. It was very rough, you know, prepare all the game plans, watch like anti-strat, whatever, you know. It was that period was really crazy, and you know, that's when I kind of questioned myself a little bit, like, you know, do I want to keep doing this? But then when we went back into LAN, you know, it kind of reminded me why I was doing this, you know, and how nice and like how good it feels, you know, when you're actually like in the studio or even in the arena playing.
Us too, as casters.
Okay, so I actually have a round that I want to bring up, and I kind of want to get your decision making and some of your thought process here now. it's going to be this round on Nuke. And yeah, you guys don't play Nuke, but you used to on G2.
What do you mean?
And, huh?
What do you mean?
Okay. Regardless, we're going to pull up the clip here. So this clip here that I see, this is going to be, this is actually a really important round, 14-14. And we see you guys kind of do the outside smokes. You kind of run across alone. And kind of the key detail here that we see on the radar here is that, you have the rest of your team. They're actually going to path on the other side of the smokes. And this isn't usually typical. Sometimes teams do this. And you end up finding a kill here on OC. And it almost looks like you're aware that he's going to be here. After you get that kill, flameZ gets a kill here towards that credit card position. You guys are in a 5v3. Then you guys all just kind of hang back a little bit. And the call here, to me at least, it seems like you guys just want to kind of wrap back around lobby. You stay here towards secret. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Oh, if I can. Speed this up a little bit. You guys kind of float back towards lobby. You guys use a lot of time, 5v3. You guys end up trying to kind of go through lobby to door. You stay here towards secret. You toss a Molotov to try to pull some rotations, I'm guessing. And then the rest of your team, you guys kind of just walk out towards mini. So when you guys kind of get, or after this kill rather, now you guys have basically secured the site, 4v2. You also find another kill on a player who's rotating towards CT spawn. This part's not really that important, but so first question I have here, when you kind of call this round, right? So my assumption here is that it was a set call right from the start that you're going to go towards secret, other players are going to wrap around towards mini. So first question is, how did you know that OC was there already? Because it looked like you were posted up.
Yeah, someone from outside just gave info that op rotated in vent, and at that point when he said that I was already down secret, so I knew that he could not beat me to the angle, so I posted up on the angle, and I think I was hitting some nice shots, so I felt really confident that if he picks me, I was gonna kill him. So
okay.
Yeah.
So in this next part here, after you get this kill, when flameZ gets the kill onto a Liege, what's kind of your thought here? Because in a 5v3, you guys have a lot of options.
Yeah, but I'm instantly saying here that we should freeze, and I think that's something I've kind of tried to teach the boys as well, because they come from playing pugs, and not experienced. So every time there's a situation like this, they would always try to insta-go, and that's basically how you lose the situation. So I think we're instantly freezing here, and we're holding because they're in a disadvantage. It's 14-14. They are probably gonna try and make a hero play. Someone's gonna push something, so we're all prepared. I'm holding down secret. The guys make sure they don't get flanked. We have a lobby lurk as well, so we have the map, covered pretty tight. And then the call at the end is just, they have no idea how many of us cross secret afterwards. So just basically reading the setup, right? We killed the guy, the rotator secret and the outside guy. So I just assumed the setup would be 2 guys on A and 1 guy ramp. So if the ramp guy rotates or the guy vent rotates, he would have probably pushed and the ramp guy would have stayed down. So the molly I throw as a fake after seeing that no one pushes is just to delay the rotation, and we just end up like crunching A together. And yeah, like once we know the opera is dead, we just try to not get like caught pants down throwing any utility, and it's more like search and make sure that we trade exactly like we did. No one is like holding nades and then we get multi-killed or any like accidents like this, basically.
So we only have a couple of minutes here, but I want to give this a little bit of space. Okay, we have Anubis as a new map into the pool, and at the World Final that you were at, everybody was playing Anubis. Now, people aren't. And so the question is, what is your opinion on Anubis, and why do you think it's not being played as much right now?
I think people would just like to be in their comfort zone. I think Anubis is weird because you cannot really pick it, because you cannot call yourself a good team on Anubis, because you don't even know if your meta is working against other teams. You can play it in practice and it can look good. That's basically what we did at the World Final, and then we play it against Liquid, and they play like a style that we didn't face in our practices, in our scrims, and then it just looks like, very sloppy and difficult to play. So I think people are just not confident going into this map yet, but maybe, at next tournaments, when they actually get like more data on it, then we'll start seeing it being played more.
Who are you playing when you play? Like when you're practicing the map, like even at the end of last year? Like what teams are you playing on the map to?
At the end of last year, it was very difficult because apart from all the teams that were at Blast, every other team was already on vacation, and we didn't want to practice it against the teams that were at Blast, so you could only practice it against like tier 2, tier 3 oppositions that were still there, So it was not like high quality practice. We just tried to get ourselves like acquainted with the map, like figure out the angles and stuff like that.
I got one last question for you actually, because I think your team is one of those teams where you guys actually have a lot more set strats compared to defaulting. What do you think is in your opinion, what is the right balance between having like default and giving freedom to your players compared to having set strats?
Yeah, I think at the beginning when we picked up Neofrag and Fico, we tried to lean more about in the direction of being this defaulty team, and I kind of tried to make Neofrag into like a new version of Nico, or basically get him to do the roles and the things that Nico was doing for me before in G2, and I think it was very hard on him. I think he's not there yet, experience-wise, it'll take him some time. So now we are switching it to, being a bit more strategic and give like Neofrag more of a, kind of not like a background role, but like more like a trader role that he played previously in Sinners.
Do you think a lot of that has to also do with the fact that you guys are international teams, so like the communication isn't as smooth as it could be?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest factors there. And I think when you want to play default and you want to spread out on the map and play like perfect like mid-round and reactions and whatnot, you gotta speak fast, fluently, and everyone needs to understand each other. And we're just not there yet. Like a lot of things we say, just goes in one ear and goes out the other. We cannot really process information that well and that fast, especially if there is some pressure involved. If it's like tense moments, tense situations. It just like people just like don't register what's being said to them, or just are basically like NPCing on the map.
Well, keeping it simple and flying low has allowed you to pick up a huge win over a team that's been really strong, and I think your odds right now of impressing this group are through the roof. I think you've already done very well. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. Congratulations on taking
Congratulations,
Liquid.
yeah.
Good luck with your further success in the tournament and this year. It's been awesome watching your journey. And to everybody at home, thank you so much for watching on Blast TV. Make sure to tune back in tomorrow, maybe the next day after that, because we will be right back here with a brand new guest. So everyone, good night.